Hello and welcome to episode number 151, season 5, episode 13 of Three Things with JR. I'm your host, JR. And it's the lucky number, episode 13. I don't believe in luck or bad luck or the number 13 signifying anything. I think that's just dumb. I am here though, and I've been writing up notes on stuff I want to tell you about. And sometimes I sit here and I can't come up with shit. But tonight, I came up with a bunch, and I'm going to drop this episode immediately after I'm done recording and editing and saving this thing. It's going out, so it's all topical. It's all great. I'm kind of shot out of a cannon at the moment. So many things I want to talk to you about. I've got 3 things, but first, while I was writing up these notes, did Trump get shot? I was watching the news when I got I was writing stuff for this podcast when I got an alert on my phone that said Trump was whisked off the stage at a rally in Pennsylvania, possibly shot. I immediately went to YouTube, NBC News live, and there's blood on his face, and the Secret Service are protecting him, whisking him off the stage as they're trying to get him into the SUV. He is defiantly pumping his fist at the audience to show that he is stronger than ever. He won't be defeated. And he was saying things like, fuck yeah, is what it looked like. I was trying to read his lips a little bit, and he seemed pretty, excited about the whole thing. And and I get it, why he would, because something like this happening is probably going to fire him up and fire up his base. And that's all we freaking need right now is that. Was it staged? Was it some left-wing nutbag who got snuck into the rally and shot him or threw something at him? Again, still at this time, it's 7:34 p.m. on Saturday, July 13th as I'm recording this. I don't know. The news has not said what it is, and if they have, I haven't been reading it for the last 20 minutes. I've been prepping to do this. So, anyway, it's a bummer. That's not okay, people, to be shooting other people, even horrible dictator assholes like Trump, and especially if you don't have good aim. I mean, did I say that? I don't know what I'm talking. Anyway. Violence is not the answer. We need to beat Trump some other way. This particular podcast, Three Things with JR, is not typically about politics. However, this one was hard to ignore. It happened while I was prepping for the show. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to move on. We need to talk music. The band, ToBeFare, has been running a Kickstarter campaign for the last 3 weeks, trying to raise $10,000 to go to pay for some studio time, some time with a big shot, awesome producer who's going to help us record about 15 songs. The Kickstarter did not get funded. We did not. We came in somewhere around $2,200, something like that, which isn't bad, but it's not enough. And so what do? We've been planning this whole thing to go down to Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow, July 14th, and immerse ourselves in a studio with each other and with our producer, engineer, all-around good guy, Kevin McNulty. And we're going to do it anyway. The band has some money. All the money we get paid for gigs goes into the kitty. And so that plus those folks who did donate or pledge on the Kickstarter, we're hoping that they will pledge for our Plan B campaign. And if you are still interested in supporting ToBeFare and our efforts to record Gary's music, you can do that. Just go to ToBeFare.com. That's ToBeFare.com. It's right there on the front page. Click Pledge Now. You can read all about Gary's explanation for how this is going to work now that the Kickstarter is gone. And we're on to Plan B, but you can fund us right there and support us and get some really cool benefits. All the stuff from the Kickstarter carries over. We're still gonna, get you some music and hopefully get you a CD or a record or a shirt or a house party or something like that. So it depends on where you're at. go check it out at ToBeFare.com. I am less than 24 hours away from being on the road to North Carolina with my drums and a full week of sitting there behind the drums, laying down the licks for these songs, and I'm pretty excited about that. Took the week off of work. It's a recording immersion studio vacation thing, and I'm pretty excited. The dog is in the pet motel. Kiki is prepared to spend a week without me. I'm not sure how she'll stay warm in bed, but she will. She'll be fine. She'll probably crank the heat on because we do have this fight going on with the thermostat, like so many people. But anyway, she gets to keep the thermostat where she wants it. I get to play music for a week, and we'll see what happens. Gosh, I am shot out of a cannon. I'm all over the place. I need to get into my things.
Thing number one.
Here's what I've really got going on and why I'm shot out of a cannon right now. Today was the day for the audition for the next show that I want to be in. It was at Live Arts in Charlottesville on the downtown mall. I've never auditioned there before, and everything about the audition material that they sent me ahead of time indicated this audition might be a little different than other auditions I've been to. Most auditions, you prepare a song, 1 minute or less, not a song from the show you're auditioning for, and you get up there with a karaoke track on your phone, you Bluetooth to a speaker, or occasionally there's a pianist, an accompanist to play for you, but that's been only once so far for me. And then you sing your karaoke track, and then you hang out, and while others do the same thing, and then you learn some dance moves, and then you perform those dance moves in a group, and then you're usually done, and that's it. Which is fine. I thought that was a fine way to audition until today. Today's audition was nutballs. It was 2 hours. And there was no downtime. You never spent any time just sitting there waiting while other people sang their songs. The crew, the people putting this show on, the director, the assistant director, the choreographer, the stage manager, and the music director were all there, along with 11 of us auditioning. And from the word go, everything was different from any audition I've been to. We got in a circle. We yelled our names across the circle, so we all learned each other's names. We then started doing a bunch of improv type of activities, mirroring each other, making noises, be inspired by something in the room, and saying your name again, and then we had formed a circle, but then we had to change the circle to the letter Z, and we all had to sort of walk together in a pattern after the letter Z, and do different things while we were walking. And then he's like, "Who did you prepare a song? Great, JR or Adam in my case. Adam, sing that song you prepared." So rather than doing the song the way I prepared it, I had to just boom, do the song while walking in a Z formation with 10 other people and just sing my song. And then I didn't get all the way through it. He stopped me. Somebody else sang their song, and on and on and on. And then part of the audition was to bring your favorite musical instrument. It didn't say you had to play it, just said to bring it. So we all did, and then I brought my cajon, which is a portable sit on it drum. It's a box. You sit on it and beat it like a drum. I brought that, and a guy brought a ukulele. Another guy sat down at the piano, and the ukulele guy and the piano guy, they played well enough to get a song going that we all of the people auditioning were able to join in. And the director was like, just find a song. It could be Happy Birthday. Can you play that? And then the ukulele guy and the piano guy finally got into a groove, and it turned out they were playing the song Twist and Shout. And now every single one of us is grabbing our favorite instrument and playing and singing Twist and Shout. And as it gets to the that part, we had to do that basically 10 times and really over the top. And by the end of this, we were all gelling with music, which is perfect because then he puts us back in a circle and they go around one by one, and now we do our prepared song. but nobody got through their prepared song without being stopped and asked to do it differently, in a different style, slower, faster. Don't sit on a stool, sit on a stool. In my case, I had to get up off of my cajon and pair up with the choreographer of the show and do a waltz. And I thought I knew how to waltz, but I remember enough. And it turned out I wasn't fully waltzing, but I was still getting it done close enough. And I had to sing my song while waltzing close, intimately with the choreographer. And I was still singing it at like full out volume. And the director's like, no. You're not singing to the whole room anymore. You're just singing to her. And now I had to look in her eyes and sing my song, which is not a song made to be sung intimately to one person. But I did it. And I just adapted to everything they told me. And I felt free and loose and totally willing to do anything they asked me to do. And then in the middle of it, start singing my song. And I felt I did really well at this. I totally enjoyed this. It was a lot of work. I've never been so sweaty coming out of an audition, and not sweat from nerves, sweat from like a freaking workout. At one point we were all dancing, but they didn't like give us an 8 count of moves to do. They just like, all right, let's move with the groove. And they played some music, and we did. And throughout this process, it was obvious to me that the 5 people running this show were all watching everybody, listening, watching, thinking, and we were all watching, thinking, listening to each other, as well as the 5 people that are running the show. And by the end of it, we all knew each other really well. And I feel like the people auditioning us had to have a better idea of the people in the room that could do the roles that need to be done better than any audition I've ever been to. It was amazing. It was an invigorating experience. And they told us at the end that from the word go in these auditions, it should be clear to us that this production won't be like most other productions we've been a part of, that they're doing something different here, and that will be revealed to whoever gets in the cast. And it will be intense. There will be a lot of trust involved in the process. They will do, they're doing callbacks tomorrow. I'm recording this Saturday night after doing the audition earlier today. And I literally, while writing this up, while learning about Trump maybe getting shot, I got a callback. So yeah, I got to be there tomorrow. And they've asked me to prepare a song from The Wizard of Oz, which is the show I'm auditioning for, in case I didn't mention that earlier. So now I've got to learn the song, and in like right now. So as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to be learning that song and preparing it for tomorrow. And so I've got to be at callbacks tomorrow, and we should all get a phone call by noon on Monday with whatever decisions they have made. And I'll tell you, I feel like I did good, and that I will probably end up in this show. I'm not putting, I'm not counting any chickens before they hatch. I don't want to think of it that way until I've actually got the role, but I feel pretty good about it. I'm excited about it. I really want to be the Cowardly Lion, but I don't even know what that's actually going to mean with the way they described how this production might go. So I'm in. I'm all in on doing this show. I hope I get to do this. And wow, all auditions should be like this. Notes to anybody that does auditions for shows. There's some really cool stuff going on here, and I think it was more effective than most auditions. Whew. I think we can move on to thing number 2 now. Thing number two. So I read on Facebook a post from a friend. He's a friend at work. I've known him now for 28 years, and he is I don't think he's a musician himself, but he certainly is a music aficionado, a huge music fan. And I've liked a lot of the same music that he has suggested to me. And he posted on Facebook about a song the other day. I'll read it to you. He says, "This is my new favorite jam. A truly amazing song. Just listening to the first verse, I felt like I knew all the words before they were sung. A very moving and personal experience." And so when he suggested this and endorsed it so wholeheartedly, I had to go check it out. And I did. And I felt pretty much the same way as he did. And this is not the style of song that I typically gravitate to. It's in many ways just a pop country song, right? Like it could be mistaken for other country songs, popular ones that, anthems in the country music world right now. You could take this to be just like that, but it is not. It is different. It's got a singular message. It is crystal clear about its message. And it is not the typical country song message. And I have been jamming this song ever since July 6th, Saturday, July 6th, when my friend Peter Logan posted about this on Facebook. I checked it out, and I've been sharing it with other people. And they are getting a lot of it. They're getting out of it a lot of the same stuff that I am getting out of it. Some people, it's not their cup of tea, and that's okay. But I want you to check out this song and tell me if it's your cup of tea, and tell me if the singular, simple message of the song resonates with you like it resonates with me. The song is by a man named Dean Summerwind, and the song is called Parked Out by the Lake. And if you simply go to Spotify and start searching for Parked Out by the Lake, you will find it, or Dean Summerwind, you will find it. You might find that there's multiple versions of the same song. I would go with like the original, not the live version. There's a karaoke version out there. Like, ignore all of those. Start with just the Parked Out by the Lake. Once you've devoured that, you could move on to there's a sad version, there's a live version. Again, same guy doing all these versions. But I think you'll find this to be a wonderful gift I am giving you right now. So please check it out. Parked Out by the Lake by Dean Summerwind. That is my thing number 2. That's my recommendation for you for this episode. So I guess it's time to move on to thing number 3.
Thing number 3.
Thing number 3 is usually kind of something dumb or silly, and today it's death. Death has come up for me, not me personally, but it has come up in conversation and in the world around me several times in the last week or so. My parents and my sister and family were all in town, had a really nice sort of family reunion last weekend, and it was great. But Dad was here. Mom was here. When Dad was here, we got to talking about death. We were on the road going to do a couple things, and we started talking about how to handle it when he dies. Now, he's only 75, so he's got some life left in him. He's got some vim and verve left in him, but still, I mean, he's 75. And so we just started having these conversations. We've had them before. We had them a few years ago when he had COVID. Because it seemed like he was going to die, but then he didn't, and that was awesome. So I had a conversation with Mom recently, and I've certainly thought about it. I'm not very healthy at the moment. I'm overweight. My teeth are falling apart. I smoke. I drink sodas. I don't exercise enough, and I'm almost 50, y'all. Month and a half, I'll be 50. So it certainly weighs on my mind that, life is getting shorter. But then people go and die. Like Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth just died. I did not know she was still alive, but she was up until a few days ago, and now she's dead. Surprised. I really, really thought she must have died years ago, but no, she was 96. Good for her. But the surprising one, literally today, while I was writing up the notes for the show, Richard Simmons is dead. The health guru, the crazy exercise guy with all of those exercise videos. I can remember seeing him in his short little shorts and his tan little legs and his tall socks and his crazy hair and his insane voice and his infectious energy. And I thought, this seems like a guy who's going to live forever. Nope. Diagnosed with skin cancer back in March and is now gone. So Dr. Ruth and Richard Simmons, both dead within, I found out within the last 24 hours. So, and then I started to think, like everybody does, who's going to be the third, right? Because there's always, these things come in threes. And these are, for me anyway, two celebrities that I always remember them existing in my life. Like, I can't remember a time where they weren't a thing. Dr. Ruth, I've heard about her forever, and Richard Simmons, both been around forever. And so I started to look around and think about who's going to be that third. If these things, hey, remember, this is thing number 3, and these things come in threes. So there's got to be a third, right? And I started making a list of the celebrities that sort of fit the criteria, meaning they've always been a thing as long as I can remember. So we're talking old celebrities here, right? And I thought, I came up with a couple, and then I was remembering there is like a celebrity death pool type of website. There's actually several. So I went to them, and it's a pretty cool list. So here's the 4 that I came up with before I went and checked out the celebrity death thing. First off, Willie Nelson. It would not surprise me any day of the week for news to come out that he has passed away. He's 91. But on the other hand, I feel like he's just now finding his groove, kind of like he's got a lot more years left in him. And so it would be a surprise on the one hand, not so much on the other hand. Phil Donahue, I remember him being on TV at home literally as long as I can remember. He's 88. Yes, he's still alive. He's not doing a talk show anymore, but when you Google him, he looks like he's still alive and enjoying life. Then I thought Albert Finney, who I always think of as Daddy Warbucks from the movie Annie. I remember seeing it in theaters when it came out in 1982, and that wouldn't surprise me if he was already dead, but he's not. He's still alive. He hasn't really acted much recently. The last thing I saw him in was the movie Big Fish. He was in Bourne Ultimatum. He was in Erin Brockovich. And, of course, a lot of movies way before that because he's old. But he's also still alive. Wouldn't be surprised. And then I thought, what about a surprise pick? Maybe somebody who's not quite that old. And I was thinking about the Duke boys from the Dukes of Hazzard. Bo and Luke Duke, John Schneider and Tom Wopat. Wouldn't surprise me if one of those guys sort of passed away unexpectedly. I mean, Bo, he's only 64. Luke is 72. I mean, Richard Simmons just died and he was only 76. So, gosh, seems like it could happen. And then I thought, let's Google this. Let's go look at the death list of the Google search results. There's a bunch of these websites you can go to, but one of them is called the Death List 24. And here's what they say. Here you will find a list of 50 celebrities chosen by the Death List Committee before the year starts for the likelihood that they may die during the year. The death list rules are summarized as follows. Candidates must be famous enough such that their death is confidently expected to be reported by the UK media. Oh, so UK media. I didn't realize that, but close enough. Candidates cannot be famous solely for the fact that they are likely to die imminently, and only 25 candidates can reappear from the previous year's list. Death List 2023 had a strong run towards the end of the year, scoring 19 deaths and falling just one short of the record. So we look to Death List 2024 to continue in the same vein. So they've got a list of 50 names ranked in likeliness to die. The number one person on their list, who do you think it is? I'll give you a second to ponder who might be at the top of their list. These are almost all celebrities I've heard of. And the number one person, they were at number 6 last year. They've been on the celebrity death list 9 times, and they are age 100 right now, and that would be Jimmy Carter. Yeah, he's still alive. Probably, who knows? For how much longer? Probably not that much. It's not a surprise that he is at the top of this list. Number 2 was number 1 last year, but went down a mark. Also been on this list for 9 times, and is aged 99, and he's an actor named Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, he's still alive as well. Let's see here. I'm going to go down. I'm not going to hit all 50 of them. I'm going to get the big ones. The big ones that resonate for me. How about Mel Brooks? He was number 10 last year. He's number 11 this year. He's 98. Holy crap. I did not know he was that old. But he is on the list. He's been on the list 5 times. Who else? Oh, there's 3 people that are on this list that have already died. Several I have not heard of, because this is a British list. Franz Beckenbauer, a footballer. Derek Draper, a political advisor. And Glynis Johns, who was actually in Mary Poppins, the original one. So she was 101 when she passed away. So, wow. Who else is on this list? You got to go down further than expected to find Willie Nelson. He's rated 33 on this list. He was rated 40th last year, so he's moving up. He's only been on the list 4 times, and again, he's 91. Bob Newhart on this list, a comedian, 95 years old. He's moving up on the list. Dick Cheney is on the list, but he's moved way down the list. He was rated number 8 last year, and he's now down to 37. Robert Duvall, there's a good one, 93 years old. He's ranked number 39th. That's a good one. Who else here? Anybody else of note? No, that's it. There's a bunch of these lists. It's kind of fun and morbid. It's a fun way to think about death, but anyway, more fun than thinking about your mom and dad dying, and I'm so glad that hasn't happened yet. But anyway, there you go. I don't know where I'm headed with that. It was just death. Thing number 3 is supposed to be something stupid, and death is something stupid. On a related note, at the family reunion last weekend, I was out in the sun without much protection from the sun in a pool party, and oh, wow, did I get burned on my shoulders and back, and most importantly, the top of my head. It is peeling like a snake shedding its skin. It's crumbling all around me. It's like dandruff. It's like bald person dandruff. But I was just thinking, as I was peeling pieces of skin off my head, that Richard Simmons was diagnosed with skin cancer in March. And wow, I don't want that. So I will be wearing a hat more often. I wear a hat most of the time, but in the pool I wasn't. So maybe that was a mistake. Anyway, again, shot out of a cannon. I'm not going to do much in the way of editing. This thing is dropping now. So thanks for listening. Next week would be the week that Gary and I typically would record our next episode of Small Things Considered. I don't know if that's going to happen. We have a limited budget and limited time in the studio, but if we can find the time, we will be in a studio. We might record the first ever episode of Small Things Considered together in the same room as each other. That might be cool, but will it come out as normally scheduled? I don't know. Might be delayed. Who knows? So anyway, thank you for listening to 3 Things with JR. Please be on the lookout for the next episode of Small Things Considered. Please go to ToBeFare.com to sign up for the Plan B support drive that we've got going for helping us pay for this recording that we're doing anyway. I am JR. This has been 3 Things with JR. Thank you so much for listening. I am planning to break a leg tomorrow, so I thank you for all of the well wishes and for my audition callback tomorrow. But the plan is to break a leg. I'm on it. So thanks again. Now I'm rambling. I need to shut up, and I will see you later. See you later. Really, see you later. Peace out. I love you. It's a brand new
day. It's a brand new day. I'm still parked out by the lake, 80 miles from Santa Fe. And I'm sitting here just parked out by the lake.